What's up, everybody? Welcome to Saturday's edition of Crossover Athlete Insights with an S. We are your co hosts, Joshua Shapiro and Joey Murray. On this edition, we're going to lead it off with a little college football. We're going to go Heisman talk. Who deserves the Heisman? We'll get into that real soon. After that, we'll get into the NFL and fantasy football. We'll start that off with a little Thursday night football recap between the two terrible teams of the Steelers and the Patriots. A little injury roundup, some start sits, and some DFS at the end for you tournament players. So make sure you stick around and stay tuned for that towards the end of the show. Let's hop on into it. We have four Heisman finalists: Jane Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and the Ohio State University's Marvin Harrison Jr.
I,
Who do you like?
I like Caleb Williams. I think he
Y-
might pull it out still.
Yeah, they like him enough to where he could just get a little sneak in ballot, little other write in.
Yeah, I'm not big on him. No, honestly, it's just such a tough question because it goes down. It's the same thing with the college football playoff. Are we looking for the most deserving or the best player?
Right.
And if you're looking at the best player, obviously, like we live in Columbus, Ohio, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is one of the best players I've seen in a really long time.
He's definitely the best. Like, I think
The
he's the
best
best player
football player,
in the
yes,
country, without a doubt. But it comes down to more than that.
yeah. His production just wasn't there for a Heisman winning wide receiver.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I like that he got the invite. Like he deserves to be there for being the best player in the country, but no, he shouldn't win.
Right, I agree with that 100%. As much of a Buckeye fan as I am, it just the production that wasn't there, and it's obviously not his fault because he's still like the number one player in the draft. Like, not that he'll go one as the quarterback value. Well, you have Kyle McCord throwing the football, so there's really only so much you can do. Actually, well, thank you, Kyle, for bringing him to Ohio State. That's about the only thing that you were good for. Uh,
It's so mean.
hey, man, you got to listen. In Columbus, it's high expectations.
Kyle, I thought you did all right. Like, obviously not good enough to stay, but you know, almost got him to a playoff.
Yeah. Oh, the defense really helped you out, buddy. Finally had a good defense. So
No, that last Notre Dame drive.
congrats. You made one good throw. Great. Seriously. So deserving of 4 stars out of high school. So yeah. I don't know how he didn't get the fifth. All right. Fit to the Heisman talk. Don't get me off track. You know how I feel about that. So here's a guy that I really like. So you get into the most deserving or the best player, the best performance, whatever the Heisman is, you want to call it. It's really all over the place. And Michael Penix goes 12-0, 13-0. And he has great numbers, not to this point of Bo Nix or Jane Daniels, but he beats Bo Nix twice, right? And then he never gets to face Jane Daniels, but he's 13-0, and he's leading that team.
Yeah, I mean, and I've told you this from first week of the season. I'm a huge Michael Penix fan.
Hmm.
Um, and I think one of the things that we have to think about is where he's playing. I think so. Obviously, not this past game, but I think his last three regular season games, it was pouring rain the
Hmm.
entire time. There's no way that he's able to put up the 400 passing yards that he needs.
Yeah, not in that.
And it's just kind of an unfortunate situation where if you just look at the numbers, it's definitely skewed towards Jaden Daniels.
Right.
But I mean, you can't discount the fact that 13-0, number two team in the country. I think they should have been number one. I had them number one the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they're good.
They're unbelievable.
How are they 9-point dogs going into the Pac 12 championship game? RIP Pac 12,
I
by the
mean,
way.
you got to think Oregon after they lost to Washington, they were a completely different team.
Yeah, but they also blew that game. I don't know if you watched that,
Hmm.
but they should have won the game, but
Yeah,
they didn't go for it on fourth down about 800 times. So like
yeah,
it's kind of a coaching fault. 9 points felt a lot. I hit Washington money line on that
yeah,
guy. I mean, how could you not take that value at plus 300?
yeah.
But yeah, Michael Penix is one of my favorite players to watch in college football. I think one of the best moments of all of the college football season is in the first game against Oregon when he's sitting on the sidelines. They're down a touchdown, whatever. They're down a few points, and he's
Fourth
over there,
quarter.
fourth quarter, yeah, late in the game. And he's over there just like hitting a freestyle to like him and one of his boys, like about how he's going to come back and win the game. It was so sick. Like, and then he comes back and wins the game.
And I think I've mentioned this on the podcast a couple times. Watching him play, I genuinely think that he's going to be an NFL star.
I hope so.
And we talked about how if I were a GM, not what I think the GMs will do, but if I were a GM, I would take Marv first if I was the Bears GM, and then Penix with my fourth pick.
That's fair. Hey, it's a little like
I know,
I know.
no, I know
I
it's early, but if you're a GM, you can't waste time trying to be like, "Oh, I wanna make sure I don't, like, screw this up." Like, if you don't produce, like, you're gone. Like, this is your dream job. Like, you gotta go do what you think you need to do to get the team in a better chance. So, I
Sup-
that's what I would do in a horrible organization.
Yeah, super cutthroat for sure if you're at
Yeah.
that spot. It's just like it's even more cutthroat when the everybody else, like the media and the fan base, is clamoring for somebody else. Like, say they really like Drake May, and Drake May's there at 4. Bo Nix is there at 4, like who's like the higher ranked prospect in
Mhm.
Phoenix for the NFL. And you take Phoenix, and he doesn't pan out, like you're gone in a
Yeah,
heartbeat.
you're gone anyway. I mean, if
But
the
you're
ne
especially gone if it's the guy that if it's like an outside guy that should not have been there in the first place that everybody said.
Yeah, but, like, I think at this point it doesn't matter. Like, you already missed on Fields,
Yeah,
kind of. Like, hopefully Fields goes somewhere else with a little bit more around him,
yeah.
and he's able to actually
It's just
succeed.
such a bad team.
It's such a bad team, and he just doesn't have any time, and
Right.
he's just extremely accurate quarterback. And we didn't see him run this much in college, which is the funny part. That now that he's in the NFL, he's just running for his life.
Yeah, I mean the O line's atrocious.
Yeah, so like, I don't even think he wants to run that much,
No, well, they tried to not do it at the beginning of the year. You saw that.
and he sucked.
Yeah, but I just think, like, the running game with him and his legs just open up so much more. In the
Yeah,
last 3 games that he's played, or 2 games that he's been back, he's been really good. Like,
yeah.
they beat the Vikings, which is like,
Vikings beat themselves.
well, yeah, but he took that game-winning drive, like, whatever. They beat the Vikings. They did beat up on themselves for sure. But you saw him, like, actually throw the ball with confidence for the first time in a while, and I think, like, maybe, sitting out and seeing somebody else, like, run the offense, like, I really wanna keep it, and I think he's a competitor enough to where, like, that may flip a switch in general. I don't know, we'll see. I think they've been running the ball a lot more ever since.
Yeah. What if
Uh,
he I have a this is totally off the cuff, just popped into my brain, never thought it before. If he goes to the Raiders,
um, I don't know.
I kinda like that.
Why? Here's where I really like. You wanna hear it?
No, but you're gonna tell me.
This is good. This would be insane, actually, I swear.
Okay, hold on, let me get Browns.
No,
Okay, then go for it.
not Ohio. Imagine him on the Falcons.
Yeah,
Bro,
that'd be kinda sick.
it would be electric. Like, you'd have 2 of the best running backs in football in your backfield.
Yeah, plus, well, Kyle Pitts. It's just a name at this point, I know, but
Yeah,
Drake London,
I'm not selling Kyle Pitts yet because I don't know. You haven't used him. I have no idea if he's bust or not. I think, like, that's this
the
consensus.
funny thing is, like, since he's been in the NFL, have the Falcons had a single primetime game?
Probably
Like,
not.
they put horrible teams in primetime right now, like Green Bay Giants right now,
Yeah,
but they've never put the
with the
Falcons
Falcons.
in a primetime game.
And I'm not sure, actually.
I really don't think they have.
I mean, off the top of my dome.
Like, anytime I watch them, it's just on my, like I don't wanna incriminate myself, so never mind.
Yeah, I watch him on Red Zone, and I rarely see him there.
Yeah. Well, you see them on defense there.
Right, right. Oh gosh. No, okay.
You
Let's
haven't seen
just
Kyle Pitts play in 3 years.
no, he's never. I literally haven't. I've maybe seen him catch about 3 balls over the last 3 years. All right, because that's all I watch. But Heisman talk. Pick your Heisman winner.
I think the right pick is Penix. With record, overall production leading the team, I know Jane Daniels has the numbers, but, like, they haven't really been a contender since, like, what, like, week 3?
Yeah,
So, that does matter to me, because I think if you're thinking along those same lines, then you'd have to put Caleb Williams up there.
yeah. That's
I
a
know
weird
the
one.
record's not
It's a
as good.
terrible record.
Yeah, but if we're taking record into account, you have to knock Jane Daniels pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like,
What were
what are they, 10-2 or 9-3?
I think that they were probably 9-3.
If they're 9-3, there's just no way. Because, like, then
They
Caleb Williams would have to be there.
they lost like 5, 6
I think they're
games.
8-4.
I think they lost 5 games. What did these guys go? All right, LSU went 9-3.
Yeah, you can't. It's not fair to Penix or Bo Nix saying, like, "Oh, this is the best player in the country in the
Right.
most important position," and, like, that just doesn't make any sense.
7-5 for USC, lost their last 3.
Yeah,
But
so, I mean, I know it's still different, like, but, like, I think do you understand what I'm saying, though? It's like
no, I
it's
get
like
it.
the
I get
same realm,
exactly
like,
where you're coming
you have
from.
to knock Jaden Daniels hard for that.
I see what you're saying, and the thing is Joe Burrow won the Heisman with a good record, undefeated.
Mhm.
All right, so arguably like the best offensive performance we ever seen out of a quarterback in the history of college football in a season. And Jaden Daniels beat him in every single category.
Really?
Every single one. Less interceptions, more touchdowns, obviously more rushing yards, more rushing touchdowns, clearly, more passing touchdowns, more passing yards. It was the most it, arguably one of the most underrated seasons that you will ever like because it wasn't talked of
Yeah.
because he wasn't undefeated and they weren't in the playoff race. The numbers are just so insane that if you talk Heisman, you talk the best, most dominant player in the country for that year. Don't know how you don't put him into that realm because it is the greatest statistical performance season that we have ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I put a lot of weight into being undefeated, being a successful team, especially
Mhm.
if you're a quarterback. I think it'd be different if you were, like, a position player,
Right.
but, yeah, no, I mean, like, obviously, I think he's
So you're like in your case, an MVP, a most valuable player is like the most valuable player on a team, not necessarily the best statistically, like highest performance
yeah, like,
player in the
what
league.
would happen to this team if he got hurt?
Right.
And so we can look at, like, Jordan Travis. Like, if Michael Penix got hurt, like, what is that team?
No, they're not a playoff team. But is
So
LSU under 500 without Jaden Daniels? Maybe.
maybe, yeah. So, but that's yeah,
It's a
the
different level
Washington's not going 13-0
for sure.
without Michael Penix.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm not, like, saying, like, this is what should happen. It shouldn't be Jaden Daniel nothing. Like, I'm just saying I personally put a lot more weight into having leading a successful team when everything's on the line and not just your personal pride, but, like, your team pride and your fight for a championship is
Mhm.
on the line. Like, pressure builds, and your ability to handle that pressure
True.
is a lot bigger than just going out there in a game that, like, in the grand scheme of things, is just gonna get you a better bowl game at the end of the year.
Right.
Like, I think that's probably a lot easier to play under that kind of pressure than it is for contender.
I think that's a good point actually, because you talk about, especially in the Heisman, like you can lose yourself the Heisman in the conference championship game. Like that for sure is you can win it, but you can lose it as well. And you never even got like we didn't even get that
We
opportunity with
weren't even
Jaden
close.
Daniels. Yeah, like he wasn't even in the realm. They're in like fourth or third place in the SEC West. So like didn't even come in second in that side. So
Yeah. And obviously, like, I could like, this I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but, like, you have to think too, is, like, back to my point, if they were 11-0, would Jaden Daniels execute those throws under the immense pressure that all the other quarterbacks that are in this race had to execute under?
that's absolutely a great question. We'll never get to know
Nope.
that.
Nope.
We'll never get to know. But at the end of the day, I believe as the Heisman winner is I think it's tough because I think it is a little bit different than MVP because it's got a different meaning. Um, and so I think like he was without a doubt statistically the best player in the country, and then you take into account it was statistically like best quarterback season ever. Like how do you not give the kid the award?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I wanna say this too, if he does win whoever wins, I think the only person that shouldn't win is Bo Nix solely because of Michael Penix beat him twice.
Twice.
So, no, statistically, I
So
think Bo Nix, like, probably played better, like, just
per
him
game.
per game,
Yep.
just him, not looking at the team around him, but I don't think you can have Bo Nix win. I'm glad he's in New York because I think he deserves to be there,
Hmm.
but, I think the other 3, like, Marv, best overall player, Michael Penix, 13-0,
Like best leader
best
feels like.
yeah, best leader, and Daniels, stellar personal statistics.
Right.
So I'd be fine if 3 of those either 3 of those 4 win the, Heisman.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good point. Like Bo Nix, although second best in statistics, like first off, you're second best. You're not even the best statistic. He deserves to be there because he had but second best statistic, and then losing to the other finalist twice in a season. Yes.
Once would be different,
Yeah,
but twice, like,
like if you split it, then yeah, for
not even
sure.
split, just 0-1,
Hmm.
like, I'd be like, "Okay," like, especially how the first game ended,
Hmm.
but
I can't hear it.
I know, there's about a herd of dogs barking above me right now.
Yeah, they get after it. Someone's at the door. I had the ring notification pop up.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I think they all deserve to be. I think they all deserve to be there. I think they did a great job of that. Um,
I agree. That's good. Jane Daniels for me. Michael
even though
Penix for
you
you.
even though you bet Michael Penix,
I do have a plus 1,600 Michael Penix future from before the season. Yeah, at one point he was the leader.
yeah, yeah, I got him the second week.
You
It's
took.
like, yeah, I was like, dude, this
He's just I love him. Like I think like about the NFL, and it's just his demeanor seems different.
it seems NFL like.
Right.
Like it seems like like his he's using his brain more than his talent. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, but I
The talent's there.
no right. I think that like just his ability to lead is better than any other quarterback in the entire class.
Yeah,
I don't even think that's a question. Maybe Bo Nix, he feels like a solid leader as
he
well.
does. Good
Um,
interviewer too. Not and it's not just like cookie cutter stuff. Like I saw him on ESPN a couple times, and like it was like real interviews,
mhm.
but like still like team seemed like a team guy.
Yeah.
But like wasn't like
Well, he's mature. He's 28 years old.
they all
He's only
are.
23, but you get my point. He's been there for 100 years.
I mean, it was Michael Penix.
I think he's young. Yeah, he's probably younger. How old is
I
Michael
think he's a
Penix?
fifth year. He was at Indiana forever.
Yeah,
I remember watching him
he beat
play Ohio
Penn
State.
State.
I remember when
He's
he was
23 also.
I remember when he was at State and like watch and he threw for like 1,000 yards. I was like, this dude
He's
is
nasty.
so good.
You remember? I mean, he actually got hurt this game
Mhm.
too. But when he single-handedly beat Penn State, like that touchdown at the end where he's like reaching the goal line, like, and he put Indiana on the map that year
Yeah.
out of nowhere. Like they had no business being there. Guy's a stud, great leader. It seems like I really like him, but unfortunately, not my Heisman Championship winner.
Take out that rain. Do you think he wins it?
Same idea. We never know because
I know. That's why I'm asking what you
uh,
think.
what do I think?
Yeah.
Um, no, I just dude, the numbers that Jane Daniels put up are just insane,
Yeah.
insane. Let
Yeah.
me
Read,
read
read 'em
it.
read 'em off.
I
Read 'em off.
will. Let me pull this up and read this off because it's
Because I
actually.
really didn't get to watch. I think I watched one or
Did
two
you know he
LSU
was at
games.
ASU before? He was in Arizona State.
I remember hearing that he transfers from somewhere. I didn't know it was Arizona
Why
State.
is he not like higher than Drake May in the draft boards?
Just because I mean Drake May's Mitchell Trubisky. Like it's just
So he
he's.
sucks, is what you're
Mm,
telling me. We watched Thursday.
I'm saying that like he should be good, so they think he's better than he is because of what for like a couple games this sophomore
Right. Okay, let me find it. Let me find it. Oh, come on. Couldn't be this hard. All right. Oh my. Jeez. Okay, here we go. This is passing.
Real quick, news from our source Tom.
What do you rip?
Um,
This is our Shefty, by the way, for college
the
football.
dude lives on Twitter. It seems like. Riley Leonard is visiting Ohio State.
Come on!
Um, that's all I got.
Give us a real
Thank,
quarterback.
thanks,
We,
Tom.
we win the Natty if
I
that's the
think I think
case.
Riley Leonard's a little overrated.
I think he's. Did you watch him?
Yeah, but I watched him before he got hurt.
He's good.
Yeah, no, he's good.
He's good.
I think Ohio State could do better.
Probably. Like I would look, dude. Imagine if they got Cam Ward.
I didn't watch a lot of Game
Dude, flings it.
I I want a gunslinger, man.
He is a gun. Ward is a gunslinger. I mean, he can.
I,
He's not C.J. Stroud, but he is he's pass first that can sling it.
I want Cardell Jones back.
It's the best.
Just throw that thing 80 yards and
He-
just
Dwayne Haskins and
somebody will
him
get
were
it.
so good with that. I loved watching it. We were so spoiled. Okay, here's his passing numbers from Jaden Daniels: 72%, just over 72% completion percentage, 3,812 yards, 11.7 yards per attempt, 40 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
4 interceptions. That's
Insane. Here his rushing. All right, rushing 135 attempts, 1,134 yards. That's 8.4 per carry and 10 touchdowns.
how bad was their defense?
I mean, I guess atrocious. I didn't watch much LSU.
Nobody did because they weren't very good. So they weren't on any primetime games.
Yeah, but how insane is that? Let's see.
Wild.
No fumbles. So like 4 turnovers the entire year with the best yardage statistics we've ever seen.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's why. That's my take. Okay. You want to talk a little NFL?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's start with Thursday night's game.
We
Super
somehow
quick one.
went 30 minutes on
What?
college football.
20 minutes.
Oh. Oh, yeah, we had to restart because
Yeah.
of,
I
it
didn't have my mic plugged in, and I gave the greatest intro I've ever given. So
but, like but going back to your point, we'll never know.
we'll never know. You guys will never know. I'll know.
I'll never know, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, right. Okay, here we go. Let's get it. Thursday night football between the Patriots and the Steelers. Patriots take it on the road in Pittsburgh. Mitch Trubisky was getting booed off the field at one point, really early on in the game, actually.
I if Sorry, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. I was done. I was just going to lead you into something.
Um, so Patriots at the time, 2-10, now they're 3-10, and
Yeah.
Pittsburgh was 7-5, now 7-6. If you were to tell me to guess whose record was whose, I think a fitting record for the Patriots, how they played last night, was
Hmm.
7-5. I think they looked pretty good for especially a 2-10 team, and I thought Pittsburgh looked horrible
Yeah.
for 7-5, like, even worse than they have looked.
Right. No, they've been. I mean, it's bad. You have the backup quarterback, and that was really the only guy missing as far as like both sides of the football go.
Ramondre Stevenson.
No, I'm talking about for the
Oh,
Steelers.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. And they just, yeah, they did not look good. And you're getting the defense has been good all year still, and Minka's back, and TJ's still healthy. Um, and Zappy just picked them apart.
Yeah, he made 2 really bad throws. One of them was the pick,
Right.
and then it was just kind of a weird I think somebody kinda ran the wrong route. Zeke was right in front of the wide receiver, and he ducked,
Okay.
and it was just kind of a weird situation, but he threw one ball that, should have been picked, I think, in the 3rd quarter that went right through the dude's hands on, like, the 20-yard line,
Yeah.
and they were able to punt, but, yeah, Zappy looked pretty good.
He did. He did. He is. I mean, I would classify him as a gunslinger. I
Yeah,
think that's how he plays.
yeah, and, with no Demario Douglas, top
I
weapons
know.
out.
He did fine. I mean, he led. He fed Zeke a lot. 22 carries. Not the most efficient. What a surprise. But
He had, a couple receptions
he
too.
had like 6 catches.
Yeah.
Um, and the only other running back that got a touch was Ty Montgomery as a catch. I'm not even sure if it was
Yeah,
as a
it was a catch.
backfield.
He got me the dub last
That
night.
was
That
why.
was the difference maker.
Yeah, it
I
was.
won in DraftKings last night. Just
Wow.
want to let everybody know because Josh thinks it's a big deal whenever he wins, and he has to bring up every single time.
Happy Hanukkah, bro.
Yeah, happy first day of Hanukkah.
Congrats. That was your gift. That was your miracle. That was the miracle of Hanukkah. Joey wins a
I
showdown.
I have a funny video to send you about the Jewish miracles.
That'll be great.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
All right. I can't wait to look forward to
You're not
that.
you're not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I will. Maybe. It better be good.
It's hilarious.
All right.
I've tried to get you to watch the set like
Oh,
17
it's
times.
that guy.
Yeah, it's that guy.
All right.
But it's about the miracle.
I
It's
just am not going to sit down and watch an hour and a half comedy skit.
not a skit, but um,
Skit.
dude, I'm gonna make you watch. Anyway, go. All right, let's.
Okay. I just really have one question on the whole game, and then we can move on because like until Kenny Pickett is back, I am very struggling to trust anybody in the Steelers offense, including the running game.
I think they're the same.
I just think that he at least provides a better production for the running backs. Because that's really the only valuable, and even Fryermuth probably, because I
Yeah,
think Mitch throws the deep ball a little bit more and not over the middle like Kenny wants
just
to.
not to Pickens.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Any of them, they
Well,
all suck.
okay. Actually, let me rephrase that. I think I was gonna say they're 1A and 1B, not the same, but I'll say more they're like 3A and 3B. Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett 3A and
No,
Trubisky 3B.
from a fantasy aspect, I'd
I'm
rather have Mitch.
yeah, yeah,
I'm just talking about the rest of the offense.
yeah. No, I'm just talking about them as
Do you want to do
quarterbacks.
you want to hear a gross stat?
Yeah,
Okay. Mitch Trubisky last night with 20.1 points, fantasy points.
he ran a lot.
He had the rushing touchdown. More than Kenny Pickett has had in a game all season long.
Still managed to look head and shoulders worse than
Atrocious
Kenny
doing
Pickett
it.
has looked not all year,
Yeah,
but
not okay. Yeah, watch yourself.
that's ridiculous.
Isn't that crazy? One game, but just because he runs, Kenny, like that's why.
He
That's
was
why I said,
forced to run.
yeah. I mean, that's also why I say I think like Kenny's better for the running back situation because he's not going to snake those unless it's like a QB sneak at the half-yard line. You know, where Mitch actually has really good legs. Like,
Yep.
yeah. All right. So here's my one question though: high ankle sprain for Ramondre. It's going to be really tough to see if they bring him back the rest of the year. I would question it. We've seen it, and even if he is, then how efficient will he be? But that's a different story. So if Ramondre does not play, we saw how Zeke just carried the load. What does that volume put Zeke at for you?
I mean, I don't know what he had. I saw in non PPR, he had 20.
He had
So he's what, 23, 25?
27
Ooh.
because he led the team in targets, in catches. He had the receiving touchdown, and he also obviously dominated the carries.
Yeah, I mean, like, solid RB2 floor with how they're and against a good defense,
Yeah,
and he looked good. He didn't look that slow.
yeah. I mean the efficiency on the carries was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
there.
yeah, but that whole offense was just
Right.
pretty awful. So the fact they scored 21 points, pretty
Us-
pretty
I
unbelievable.
I was shocked.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't yeah, I mean, I like him. Wish I got him.
I got him in one
I
league.
think he's a must start.
I agree. So I had Ramondre, so I went and got him. Luckily enough, I was high enough on the waiver order. Because the way we do ours is like if you pick a waiver, then
You go to the bottom.
you go to the back
How
instead
you
of
that's how it should be.
yeah. I want to try Fab next year. Have you ever done a Fab one
Is that with the
where you
fine?
pay?
Yeah, I wanna be in a league where it's actually about, like, your general managing skills. So, I want a short bench, so you can't just hoard guys, and I want fab, so you have to select who you have, and
Okay,
with a 2 IR spot.
okay, fair. I will say this: it's really tough with the short. So
Yeah,
the Fab, I get Fab 100%. I think is the best waiver wire section. Whoever's still doing reverse standings weekly, figure it out. Like that's just not it. All right. As far as the in between, like wait till waiver claim reset, like that guy goes to the back. That's an okay option. The short bench, however, is really really hard.
yeah, that's my point.
No, but like you don't understand. It's because in the buy like, in the heavy buy times, like, you're not gonna be able to fill a team without dropping, like, a really
Okay,
good player.
fair.
That's the only reason. It's not the fact, like, you can't I get the side that you wanna be able to GM better, but, like, you're talking, like, weeks 8, 9, 10, like, when there's so many buys,
Okay,
it's impossible.
so I think my point is still valid in that it makes it much more difficult, but and I think your point is that it makes it too difficult because you can check buys, especially, like, before the draft, so you can take a lot of draft prep and all that. So, yeah, I guess it wouldn't be super realistic, but it does match my point that if you're looking for the hardest most person who wins the league is more likely to be more deserving than standard league rules. That makes sense?
Yeah, so I was at we had this at the beginning of the year. I was in a 5 bench, 2 IR. Your dream.
That's perfect.
No. It was miserable. It was super okay until the buys hit.
Yeah,
That was
crunch
not
time.
even no, because, like, you're gonna get a time where, like, it's just you
You gotta
can't
plan your buys.
and it's a keeper league on top of it. So, like, you're keeping stashes, like,
It's
you
gonna
don't
be
wanna
tough.
you don't wanna drop somebody that, like, may have value later on the season and even into next year, they got it at a late round. And then, you've got 5 guys on a buy because you had to pick a couple guys up from earlier in the season and you didn't match it's just not it's too much. Too much. Okay, well, I like Zeke as a pure volume is a borderline RB1. Borderline
Okay.
because like he dropped 27 is clearly RB1. He's going to be in the top 10 RBs for this week.
Yep.
If he continues to dominate like the routes run out of the backfield like that, if Ty Montgomery doesn't snake into that a little bit, which wouldn't surprise me if he
Mhm.
does because that's what he's good at. Um but 22 like he's nobody else is going to get a carry. And I just like that idea of from fantasy side. Like I don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, but the issue is that, like, they were able to move the ball yesterday. Like, what happens when they return back to that Patriots offense where they just it's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and
No,
out,
I
3 and
agree. I
out.
mean, that
So,
definitely that hurts anybody in the offense. I'm just
yeah.
saying from a pure volume standpoint, like he has that the top potential is a borderline
Yes.
with that volume.
Yes. Alright, I agree.
Yeah. But the RB2 floor.
But, yeah, I do worry about them going being the Patriots and just not being able to move the ball, and then
No doubt. But
he has 20 carries for 35 yards
definitely a possibility.
and 17 punts.
No, I agree. I just think like
Yeah, no, but
it is
I agree
tough.
with
It is tough to find that type of volume anywhere else in that area. All right. That is it for Thursday night football from Prime Video. Injury roundups. So many big injuries last week. We did a little bit on Tuesday. It was actually insane how many big injuries there were. It felt like so. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence with an ankle, he's not playing.
Well, as of now, he's questionable.
He actually wait. He practiced Thursday.
Hold
Whoa, short week. I mean, I would doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna play, especially with their playoff position right now.
Wait, so your source was right?
I just saw an ESPN app.
No, your source. Do you not remember what you read on
Oh,
Tuesday?
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, my never mind. Get
don't say, but our source.
my source. He's just being soft. He'll be out maybe a week, maybe not even that.
Insane, insane call out of him. We have shifters on the inside,
He
bro.
does have a medical background.
All right. Well, that's what we needed. We have inside information always. You heard it here first. Uh,
That's actually insane. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, dude. It just came to my head. I'm like, wait, I didn't think there was even a
We
chance
should start having him on the pod.
we could. He could run the section. There's a chance.
There's no way he'd want to do that.
No. What if we're gonna blow up? We're gonna blow up. All right. Start Carr with not one, not two, but three injury designations: concussion, rib, and shoulder. I'm going to assume definitely not practicing or definitely not playing, but he did practice a little bit on Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. like, like we can't even speculate anything because
Which one are we talking
and
of?
how bad is it? All three, because we used to guys be like, oh, he's questionable with a knee, but in reality, he's just got a sore knee, probably just a little, he tweaked it, a little inflamed, but
hmm
planning to play the entire time. Is it one of those? Are two of them those, and one of them's bad? Are all three horrible?
Who knows?
Good luck, everybody with Saints guys on their team.
Yeah, I mean, Olave and Kamara. That's it.
Yeah, and yeah, yeah.
Don't say Jawan Johnson. I played
No,
him
no,
last
I'm
week.
not.
I played him.
Hey, it was a good take. I stand by it. It didn't work out for anybody.
Is that because of one of the three Derek Carr injuries that occurred in the game?
Could be. No, not just
Or the
during the game,
fact
on the one hit.
on the one hit, or the fact that he has stone hands and dropped about three passes that I saw? Yeah, whatever.
I didn't even think he had a target, I didn't think.
No, I saw him drop a
Okay.
pass straight up through the hands, but I think that was like the only one.
Oh,
All right, this is a big one actually. So one of the bigger ones, it just came in right before we started, right before I hit the record button. Actually, is Isaiah Pacheco is out this week. The Chiefs, they're in a big matchup against the Bills. Bills have a pretty susceptible,
acceptable.
susceptible. There it was. Defense compared to previous years. No Von Miller probably. What's he up to? I don't know.
Uh, Never mind.
Don't say it.
We need a Patreon, man.
um, who would you rather have? CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or Jerick McKinnon?
I'm 100% McKinnon. Um, the Chiefs have showed that they genuinely like McKinnon, and they
That was
got
last year.
he's kind of been hurt. No, he's had obviously his volume's not great. I'd be interested to see what his snap share is the first couple games when he was fully healthy.
Okay.
Um, but no, I think CEH was supposed to be their guy, and they got off of him so quickly, even though he didn't have necessarily a bad year. Um, so I wouldn't really put all my eggs in that basket. I'd rather go with McKinnon, the guy that has been playing and at least pass catching role. So
I mean, I think he definitely gets the pass
he's
catching
got a
role.
higher floor.
I will say though, they have used like they have used Clyde more this year than they have McKinnon.
Oh, McKinnon's been hurt.
Even so, like even the last few
Yeah,
weeks,
McKinnon's been out.
like out.
Yeah, he has been playing.
I guess we'll see. I think this- I mean that kind of proves into the point even more. I feel like if he hasn't been playing, he's not going to dominate the snaps.
Yeah, but we also got to think about the team aspect. Mahomes has been on record saying if your name's not Kelsey, I'm just gonna throw it to whoever's open. So I don't think they're gonna force the volume. They could just run it 10 times all game. That would be something that the Chiefs would do.
Yeah,
Is just not use him and just have him be a pass blocker.
yeah, that's fair. I for now though, I'd rather have CEH until proven otherwise.
I think if I don't know if he has, but if McKinnon doesn't have an injury designation right now, then I would go McKinnon.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, he did it last year, so I get it. He was like a top 5 running back at the end of the year.
Yeah, the only issue that I'm seeing though is that they're not stretching the field very much. They like that little screen game that they've been doing, like the Bengals were doing in the first half
Mhm.
of their last game. So I feel like that kind of makes it tough to get those swing passes to running backs if they're not stretching the field.
Bro, he has played every single week this year. I don't know where you're getting this injury stuff from. He's been on a designation, but he has played every week.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and Clyde has out snapped him.
I thought for sure he was. Oh yeah.
Mhm,
Oh yeah.
mhm,
You're right.
mhm.
All right.
But to Joey's point, I'm not gonna discredit, like, the fact that McKinnon isn't a good
He has
pickup.
been. I will say though, he has been banged up the entire year.
Yeah, I
So that's
okay, so let me touch on week 3. Pacheco leaves the game in week 3. He leaves early, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets 15 carries, although not efficient, for 55 yards and got the touchdown. Okay, so that's without Pacheco. In week 3 as well, McKinnon goes 2 carries for 9 yards, but he got 3 catches for 19 yards and 2 touchdowns through receiving.
yeah. He's a big red zone receiving guy.
So it's clear they're going to play two. They're going to play both
Yeah,
backs.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Uh,
no, I mean, like,
yeah.
I thought he was out, for several games, but maybe I'm sure his snaps were limited at some point, but, yeah, so I guess CEH is probably the safer play at this
Yeah,
point. Yeah.
yeah. I just it's gonna be the higher volume. Like even
Yeah,
that
yeah,
week 3 without Pacheco or like when he left early, like 3 catches, but he saved the day because he had 2 touchdowns on 3 catches.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
give me the guy with 15 carries.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so CEH probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I was
that's all. That's
wrong
all I
about
got.
the, guy being out.
Because I kind of felt like he did miss something too, but I guess not.
I guess he's just been hurt all year
Yeah,
and just
I know
playing.
he's been questionable a lot of games. So ETN with the ribs, he played through it last week. Should play through it again. Not efficient, but he got in the
I
end
know, I'm
zone.
just thinking about the quarterback situation,
Oh yeah,
like,
maybe they
if
dump
he's
it.
banged up, like, do they rest him more? Like, if the game starts, like, not getting out of hand, but they're down 14, like, do they just go to Johnson and just
Well, here's the other thing with Johnson is he is dealing with a knee injury, and that is also probably why we saw more ETN than usual, or than the last few weeks, because Johnson is dealing with something, and I don't think they trust Tank Bixby.
you wanna know something funny?
Huh.
I think Tank Bigsby had, 2 snaps, 1 or 2 snaps, last week, and one was the goal line carry. He
Mhm.
didn't get it, but I just thought that was it was on the opening
Dude,
goal line.
he did that at the beginning of the year. He snaked like 2 or 3 I think 2 touchdowns, like, the first few
Yeah,
weeks. You're like, "God, not
and he just doesn't
again."
play the rest of the game.
And he doesn't play the rest of the year.
It's so funny.
That's it. They were so high on him.
Doug Peterson just forgot about him.
I mean, I don't think he's that good.
No, but he's got a good name.
Onto the running back duo in Seattle. Kenneth Walker has not played since week 11. Um, Charbonnet has not really taken advantage of this absence. 3.2 yards per carry. Kenneth is clearly going to take over that backfield again. I think he plays this week. What I'm hearing,
Yeah, if he plays, I don't necessarily think Kenneth Walker is a must start, but I think Charbonnet is a must sit.
for sure.
But it's tough to say you should start Kenneth when
So
his production wasn't really there before he got hurt.
yeah, the offense have been struggling, but the offense has
Mhm.
significantly improved moving the football recently. Now here's the only problem that they
Playing in
face
San
this week.
Francisco.
You knew it. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Dude,
Good.
I'm
Just making
steel
sure.
trap him.
That's great. Um,
Besides McKinnon being hurt, I'm a steel trap him here.
yeah. I just, dude, it's just you're dead. Your running backs are dead playing that defense.
Kenneth's gonna be like, I think I'm hurt again.
Yeah, my obliques really bugging me,
Oh wait, Chase Young and Nick Bosa are
and Eric Armstead and Fred Warner. I don't
oh,
know, man. I think I'm gonna have to sit one more. That's fine, dude. Rest up for the playoffs. I got you, buddy.
well, I think they're out of the playoffs if they
Well,
lose.
fantasy playoffs.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they're actually in the wild card race though.
Yeah, I think they lost last week, and I don't know the percentages, but I know it's a lot lower, and then I think they have to win this week.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. They're
But
10-point dogs.
I know my take on Tuesday's podcast was that I think Seattle comes out and plays a lot better than 2 weeks ago when they played San Francisco, based on the second half when they played them.
Okay, I like it. I get it. 10 points a lot. I read like a tweet or whatever, and it was like an odds maker from Vegas, and he's like, "Yeah, like I have San Francisco as a 5 point favorite over any other team on a neutral site. So like they are 5 points better than the rest of
Ever.
the field. Like that's insane.
I wanna see do they play the Cowboys this year?
Well,
That'd be
I don't know. Probably
awesome.
not until playoff time. I would assume.
I feel like I saw that they're playing them in the next couple weeks.
Really?
I
Okay, so they have the Seahawks and they have the Cardinals and they have a Ravens. That'll be a good
That'll be
matchup.
a great game.
Yeah, that's what day is Christmas?
25th.
That's a Christmas Day
Aren't you
game.
half not Jewish?
Oh, my mom's Christian.
Yeah, so
I celebrate
you
both. I
you
got a lot. I mean, I'm Jewish.
and yeah, we know.
I'm full Jewish, but I celebrate the other side.
How are you full Jewish if your mom's not Jewish?
I was bar mitzvahed, brother.
Oh, so that just takes over?
Hmm.
So you're saying, "I'm good, mom. You're,
No, I
kicking
respect.
your jeans to the curb."
No, no. He gave me my niceness.
Did that get taken out of the bar mitzvah too?
It might have. Um, that's gonna be it. That's the Sunday night game. That'll be good.
Good.
Little under. Well, it's in Cali, so maybe not in the snow, but that would be sick if that was a snow game. Just running, just two dogs. Like that's a trench fight in the snow. Oh, that'd be so cool. Please, California, let it snow. All right. And then they have Commanders and the Rams, so they should really just run the table here. Besides, that would be their only tough matchup. My God, are they good? Okay. Any other big ones? Aaron Jones still dealing with it.
Don't
J-
bother.
yeah, JT is out with the thumb. The entire Saints team is practically hurt. I'm looking at it here. Jawan Johnson has a quad. Taysom Hill has a back, and Rashid Shaheed still dealing with a quad as well. Christian Watson out with a hamstring. Who do you like most now with him out? By the way.
Christian Watson?
Yeah,
Jaden Reed?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
He
the
had a
safest
down
bet.
game, but, like
Well, he's been dealing with some chest stuff.
yeah, but he's been playing every game. If you look at the past, like, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, I think this past week was, like, the first time he hasn't gotten, like, 15 points. It was, like, a consistent between, like, 14.2 and 15.3, like, every game.
Yeah, he's been great.
Yeah, yeah, no, I wouldn't say he's a must start, like, I'm ben he's on my bench right now, but I think he's a great option.
I think they have a good matchup this week.
Jordan Love just looks
He looks
legit.
awesome.
Yeah, he looks like Aaron Rodgers. Not like,
I
in
get
his
you.
motion, not the
Dude,
rest.
they have the Giants. I mean, it's a great matchup for
So I
Jaden
played
Reed.
Jaden Reed
Awesome. Like, seriously.
over Calvin Ridley. If
Dude,
or
they have the Jet.
if
Don't they have the Jets or something like that?
yeah, it's just
I'm pretty sure I would play Jaden, or
yeah.
if
I know
Lawrence doesn't play, I'm playing Jaden Reed.
it's just like a
I'm just telling you.
Jaden Reed is also questionable going into the oh, it doesn't even matter. I already clinched. It don't matter.
You don't want that buy?
I'm the best there ever was.
You don't want that. I already clinched a first round
I
buy.
don't think I'm getting the bye.
Mm.
No, did I? Oh, I didn't tell you?
Yeah, I know you clinched.
No, 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 I didn't tell you the, statistics, though.
Yeah, you did.
So for our listeners, I'm the best defensive fantasy player there ever was. I am, uh, 8 and 5, and my points against me is 100 less than the next closest, and I've scored even less points than that, and I'm 8 and 5.
That's absurd.
I've scored about 100 looks about average-wise, about 120, 150 less than everybody else, than, like, the mean, and I'm in 2nd place.
That's actually so stupid.
It's ridiculous.
I hate you.
Yeah, so I'm sending it to everybody just because.
I got knocked out of one of my leagues as the highest point scorer, and I have the most points allowed as well, obviously. So I'm sitting at 500, or just like I'm a game over 500, and I got knocked out the
Play
playoffs.
better defense. Yeah, but I
Seriously.
will say I've had 7 guys go on the IR, so I've been grinding.
Still, you're so lucky.
I'm so I clinched scoring 109 points, this
So
past
bad.
week. Yeah.
So bad. With 3 wide receiver PPR,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, that's like
Full
that's
PPR.
the kicker.
Yeah,
It's like 3 wide receivers, and it's still only 109.
yeah.
Like it should be. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You're lucky.
I'm extremely lucky.
Take the dub. Okay. Just nothing really major the rest of the way. Let me just run these off, and then we'll get
Yeah.
into
Alright.
start sits.
Alright.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Monitor these guys. Brees Hall with an ankle. Zach Wilson starting quarterback. I think that's a little boost. It's better than whatever. What's his face? They cut
Uh,
Boyle.
Rypien
Oh,
and,
they did get him
they
too.
and,
They cut Boyle.
Boyle, yeah. Or did they
They
cut
cut him.
Simeon?
No, they cut Boyle.
Okay.
Finally. I mean, okay.
Can't start a
How did
quarterback
he get a job?
can't start a quarterback named Boyle.
Yeah, how did he get a job?
What are we
He's
doing?
Rogers' boy. All right, Puka Nakua with the shoulder. Tyrod Taylor might return. His ribs are fully healed. I'd rather,
Hopefully, he go to the Chargers doctor.
yeah, I know, puncture the other lung.
Yeah, he just kickstarted Justin Herbert's career.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think he sued him. Probably made a bag.
Yeah, dude, that is reckless.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like,
That's really bad.
I know it's tough to, I know, like, when I try to get, like, dry needled and stuff, like, they're usually pretty hesitant, but, like, you still gotta be able to do it.
You got to be able to do it, especially if you're a doctor of like an NFL team. Like,
You're the doc. Like,
you're figure it out, bro.
yeah, bro, like, rib injuries are common in the NFL.
Yeah, that's so bad.
Like, were they not, like, ultrasounding with it to, like, guide the needle in there?
I don't even know what they were doing.
It was a cortisone injection
Oh,
for
was
his
it
ribs. He
cortisone?
cracked his ribs, and, like, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to do an ultrasound so you can see where the needle's going, so you can see the lungs to make sure you're not getting there. So, I don't I don't know,
Have
but
you had a cortisone
several, yeah, they're the best.
shoulder?
Shoulder and elbow.
You had one in the elbow too?
Elbows in college. Yeah,
I had the shoulder, and it
amazing.
just, dude, this is
That's
actually,
amazing.
it really is because let me just tell you guys, I could not throw a baseball without pain. Like I couldn't even throw it 50 miles an hour without wincing in pain. And they're like, I get an MRI and they tell me, and I refuse to believe this, it felt like at the time. They're like, ah, nothing's wrong. I'm like, what do you mean nothing's wrong? Like, I cannot throw a baseball. Like, it hurts like hell right now. And they're like, "Nothing's wrong, like, it's one of the cleaner MRIs we've seen." I'm like, "No way." And they're like, "Yeah,
It's
we're
the
just gonna."
worst thing you could have heard.
I know, I'm like, "Please just tell me it's gone at this point," like,
Yeah.
you know? And so, like, I'm not throwing it hard at the time because it hurt so bad, I couldn't physically push through it. They just inject me with the cortisone, and all of a sudden, like, 2 days later, I'm just slinging rockets again, and I'm like, well, I'm slinging it again, how about that? And, and it was like I had never had pain before.
The
Like,
best.
unbelievable. It's the most magical shot you could ever have.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt that bad.
Mine didn't hurt at all.
Yeah. The worst part, at least for me, like, mine my issue was in the front,
Oh, I put it in the back
and so the guy went through the back of my shoulder and went all the way to
all
the
the way,
front.
so you felt it.
Oh, yeah, I felt it wasn't like
Yeah.
that. It was more
Did they
free.
spray it with the numbing stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the lidocaine on the
Yeah,
front.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was doing, like, tests on me, and, like, I'd be like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And, and then, like, after the shot, like, seconds after we did the same test, I was like,
You're good.
"Yo, no way!"
Bro, I came back 2 days
Crazy.
later and was throwing without pain, and I'm like,
Awesome.
insanity. Yeah,
Awesome.
this is funny actually. So he's spraying, like, the lidocaine on me, the doctor, getting ready to put the shot in. And, like, he's spraying it, like, it feels cold, like, the lidocaine feels cold on your skin, and as soon as he, like, starts spraying it, and it gets to the point where I'm like, "Oh," like, you don't feel much, and then you're like, "Oh, shit," like, you can feel the cold burst right away, and he's like, "You know when to stop spraying the lidocaine?" And, like, everybody in the room's like, "Not like, until you're done needing it," pretty much, and he's like, "No," when they turn around and look at it, because like, that's when they felt it, and, like, that's when it turns numb.
Oh,
Yeah, so, like, the second I turned around, he, like, stopped it because he's like, "Oh, you felt it," and then that numbs it up.
huh.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Huh.
I thought it was
Seems like a
funny.
really scientific way of doing that.
I thought it was funny, like, at the time because it literally was, like, straight to the fact, like, he was done spraying it, and it kicked in and numbed it up, like, the second I looked back at it. So he's probably done so many, like, that happens practically every time.
I made my PT go with me because, I almost flew back here
To get it?
to get it because, like, our team doctor there is known for being horrible,
That's not great. It's not
like,
a great thing to be known for.
I know. And, I was like, and I told my PT, I was like, "I'm not comfortable with him doing this." And he was like, "Listen, I don't blame you, but," he's like, "I could do this."
Dude,
And I was like, "Will you do it instead?" He's like, "No, but I'll go with you." He's like,
like, I can't.
it's not like he can't mess it up, but I will go with you to make, like, if it makes you more comfortable." I was like, "Okay, thank you."
That's insane, actually.
Yeah,
How does he have a
he
job?
did a TJ.
Like, what is he good at that he keeps his job then? Like
I think he's
surgeries?
brain.
Oh, he's a neuro?
Yeah,
Those hands are
maybe spine.
whatever, yeah.
I don't really know, but we had a guy get TJ there and Latin guy. So like usually like they let us pick your surgeon. So like I went to Meister for mine, like
Right.
pick the best guy there is, and they had this Latin guy, and I'm assuming they didn't really give him the option, and they had this guy do it, and
Has he not really done many before, do you
I'm
know,
sure
or
he's done like some,
yeah.
but it's not like his thing.
Mhm.
And the kid was doing like rehab and stuff, and like it was just so laxed, and he was doing his throwing program, got to the mound phase, and it was just
Couldn't throw.
yeah, and they had to redo it.
Good stuff. It's not a fun
So
rehab.
yeah, shout out that doc.
It's a
I want to
grind.
say his name so
Nah,
bad.
don't say it, don't
No,
say
no, no, absolutely not.
it.
Still playing baseball. I can't
Don't
do
do it
that.
yet.
But
Just wait till we're 60. Still running the pod, you know? It'll be like virtual
we
pods at that
better have
point.
more viewers.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume if we were still doing it when we were 60. It'd be so cool because they just, you throw a bit like you'd
Yeah,
probably throw something on the ground and it like holograms up.
yeah. We don't have to edit anymore. I hate, I hate making TikToks so much.
He is a computer wizard.
I can barely turn it on.
Yeah,
This is my first non-Mac computer too, and so I really don't know what I'm doing.
yeah.
I had to call him, ask where my downloads were.
He did not know you could take a file and drag it over to the desktop. How are you trying to do it? Like, how are you doing it before?
So on Mac, you open it and then file save it, and then you select the location, and you
Well,
just
you could do that on Windows too, but you literally can just click it and it takes it over there. So it takes it from that spot. So now you don't have two on your computer.
yeah. Sorry, I don't know the things I don't know.
Well, there you go. Now you know. Okay. Last two injuries. Kareem Hunt with a groin. He practiced Thursday. Should be fine. Josh Palmer with a knee actually started practicing again. First news that we've heard of that, or of his name ever since the injury. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, Staley wasn't mentioning anything
Yeah.
about anything. So like, I've kept him on my IR in hopes, just because nobody. But um, yeah, I think he's at this point, if he shows that his snap counts there, like absolute must start with that offense right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Eckler sucks.
I think he's a flex because you don't know how much he's going to play.
Yeah, I mean, I would, if you can, I would give him a week. But like,
Yeah.
if he just shows that the snap volume is there, like Keenan Allen's banged up as he always is, but like
Right.
obviously it's still the goat of PPR. But aside from that, like, there's
That's a
nobody.
bold statement.
What? Sorry, one of the goats of PPR. Like it's like him, CMC, Kamara, uh,
I get you
Jetta,
though.
huh?
I get you though. I got you. All
Travis
right.
Kelsey.
He was.
He's still tight end one.
Yeah, but it's just not like
No, I know. I agree. I
it's
agree.
not the same.
Yeah, it's sad.
I know. He was literally I mean, he was the only tight end that was a wide receiver one.
Yeah, like it was
He
just like
he is now
when
worth
when you were drafting and you had your first round pick and you saw that he was available, you're like, "There's no way I can take a tight end." And then by week 12, you're like, "I will give you my entire team
the
for
value was
him."
crazy.
And you just can't pull the trigger.
No.
He always falls to like 7 to 10,
It's
and
always
that guy's
7.
like, "Oh,
Right.
this is the one year it didn't work out." Because it's not even the fact that his point total is not super high, it's the fact that Laporta and Hawkinson are at the same tier,
And you coulda got
and you coulda
Laporta in the 12th, the
yeah.
10th,
Yeah,
whatever.
it was just the fact that he was so much ahead of everybody
Yeah.
that there was a massive gap, so, like, now
Yes.
that there's
I
not
wouldn't say it's paid off, but,
no.
I
Huh?
respect it. I have him in one league. I had him at took
Yeah,
him at 7, just
yeah,
hit right area. Like, it's
yeah.
like,
And it worked out good enough.
yeah,
Like,
it's okay.
better than taking per cup like me.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely better than that. Well, we always draft later to, like, wait for the preseason
Yeah,
injuries to all get through because I
yeah.
think that that's fair. Alright, well, that's it for injury roundup. On to the start sits of the week.
Should we just rip through this? We're gonna be
We're
here
about
a while.
just under an hour right now. But yeah, I think we just 5 quick ones. We each spit our own, don't even back and forth it,
Alright,
and just tell me why, and I'll tell you why.
alright. You wanna go first? You want me?
I can go first.
Alright, go for it.
I'm gonna hit a start on a guy that we have touched on previously here. and they're playing the Giants. And how do you not start Jordan Love at the quarterback position at this point? He is just averaging under 20 points over the season, I believe. And a lot of that has come. He's averaging 18 and a half. He's QB 10 on the season. And the last few weeks have just been 20, 26, 23, and looks like to just finally come into his own. I really like him in a great matchup against the Giants. They're terrible. Play Jordan Love, and you can play one of those wide receivers with him that you think might stack, whatever.
I will say, his last 2 primetime games balled out,
Yeah,
and he's got a Monday night game.
he does. Somehow the Packers at the
They're because 'cause
Giants.
they're gonna be in the playoffs.
Packers.
Yeah.
It's still an insane.
And the Giants.
Dude, Brian Dable.
Ryan Bowling Ball.
Yeah. Did you see that? Okay, this is just a funny meme that I happened to see like earlier in the season. That if you flipped, so you kept the face,
Yeah,
but if you flipped his beard and his head, it looks like normal.
I have seen that. I have seen
So
that.
funny.
We'll have to throw that up on the thing.
We'll get a TikTok of that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
It's so
that's good.
great. Yeah. No, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen because it literally looks like it's a different human, but it's the same guy, just the beard on the top. Oh, it's so good. All right. What do you got for us?
I thought you were ripping through all yours.
Oh, I
Yeah, just
thought,
rip through yours and
okay.
then
All right. Let me fill it
don't
back
take
up.
mine.
Well, I might. Okay. Here we go. This guy, a little bit more of the lower play, the lower end running back situation, but a guy that we talked about on Tuesday's podcast, again, for the 100th time we've clamored this, looks to take over the Carolina role in the backfield. I'm going to say start Chuba Hubbard. I just like the volume that he's been getting, and it looks like with the new coaching in Carolina that they want to use the younger guys and the guys they want to finally see what they have. So you look to see like a Mingo taking over, and that also bodes well for Chuba Hubbard. Back to back top 12 fantasy running back performances. So I like him going forward. Start him this week. And I'll give you a sit here. Let me see. Where are my sits? All right. I'm going to steal one of yours. Just one. But you
Mm,
had a lot of sits.
go for it.
All right. In the running back spot, I'm going to go sit Devin Singletary, a guy that I really liked until last week when Damian Pierce went back to splitting carries. In Damian Pierce's first week back, he had 80% of the 80% of the snaps in the Houston Texan backfield. And I really thought like that was something to come because he had been so good in Damian Pierce's absence. Did not come to fruition. They both split time last week. Pierce out carried him. And now they're going up against one of the most stout New York Jets defenses, like the most stout defense in the NFL, arguably, with the New York Jets. And I just don't think that he's playable at this point. So those are my three. Go ahead and let them rip for us, Joey.
All right, number 1, got a sit for y'all. Kyle Pitts.
Hmm.
I mean, we've harped on it. Everybody's harped on it.
I
Uh,
still don't know if he's good or bad.
yeah, we have no idea. Hopefully they get a quarterback at some point and we find out.
I have one stat for you on that.
Go for it.
He is under 60 receiving yards in all but one game this season and only has found the end zone one time.
Just so ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has 4 touchdowns in his career, and Sam Laporta has 6.
Yeah. This season. They are in 11 or in
Well,
12 games,
yeah.
13 games. So,
Um, number 2, start Jake Ferguson.
okay.
Super hot and cold this year. Really came onto his own this past game. And he's tight end 9 in the year as a rookie.
Yeah, he's been good.
I'm doing solid. My sit, although I think Josh Dobbs has a bounce back game, I just don't think you can trust Alexander Madison at this point at all. Single digit games for the past I think 4 weeks.
Who do they have?
They have the Raiders
Yeah.
at,
Okay.
at Raiders. Um, yeah, I just he
That's,
just his production's just not there.
I think Ty Chandler's the more talented running
Oh
back.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. Start. I haven't been big on this guy all year. He goes against my philosophy of avoiding running
I
backs
know
with
this
ACLs.
one.
Javonte Williams.
He's good.
He's good. He's getting the volume. Production hasn't necessarily been fully there. He's done fine.
Hmm.
I think he's had an issue with getting into the end zone,
Yes.
but he's playing the Chargers.
Yes.
And we all know how the Chargers are playing right now. And since you stole my last one, that's all I got.
Cool. Uh, yeah, that's it. I got too. I really like Cortland Sutton again too because just in general
He just
against the
seems to produce.
Chargers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a touchdown machine. Um, both guys, like I love Javante too. Just the Chargers defense is terrible, and Brandon Staley's still calling plays. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, Broncos are bound to get the ball in there on the Chargers' 35-yard line after Staley goes for it on
Yeah,
4th and 4 on their 35.
because why wouldn't you?
Because the data says you should.
All right.
Because the data says you can't score if you punt.
Well, data's going to say you're out of the job here pretty soon, Brandon.
Did we mention it on the podcast or was it on the phone when I was just like
It was on the
laughing at
pod.
how Rex Ryan is like,
Yeah,
what is it? What are we doing?
that was
Get this guy
Tuesday.
out of the NFL.
I know. Seriously, though. It's crazy. All right. Well, that is it. That was a nice little quick start sit. Um, I think that's it for regular season, like full season fantasy football. We're going to touch on the DraftKings FanDuel section and get into some daily fantasy sports. This is the classic showdown or the classic main slate. No showdown games, no showdown players. And hopefully one day will be brought to you by DraftKings. But it is not right now, so do not sue us. All right. We're going to start off with Joey's quarterback list, his top 10. Now, let me tell you right now, this top 10 is not the top 10 best players, but the top 10, not who we think will score the 10 most points, but the most valuable 10 according to salary on DraftKings so that you can build best lineup possible and win the big tournament. Win the millie, you know? All right, lead us off, Joey.
So quarterbacks are usually kind of tough, and you can kind of go any direction you want. They're usually valued pretty similar, except for the guys at the top. My number one, extremely excited about this guy, Brock Purdy going for 6,500.
Yeah,
Like, what is that value?
pretty good.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Who are you stacking him with?
anybody, anybody on that team besides George Kittle right now, and he's even being pretty productive. But
Yeah,
probably
even
Ayuk,
okay.
Debo, obviously 3 touchdowns last week, but like,
So it's an IU
but
week.
let's look at the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Like,
They,
you never know what you're going to get from Debo. Unbelievable talent, but
can I ask you this?
no.
Is Debo a must start at this point? Right.
Yes.
So you're going to take back what you said early in the season when he wasn't a must start and just a name?
Yeah. Now that he's producing, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Are people not allowed to
I just want
change
to make sure we're on the
opinions?
same page now. That's all.
Are you one of those people
That's
that
all. No, I just
you
want to
say
make
one
sure
thing 6 months ago and then
I don't I don't forget things.
yeah, I know, but people are ever evolving.
I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page. That's all. I didn't want to start an argument with you. I just wanted to make sure that the people knew
Oh,
that you were
well,
on the right page
well,
now.
here we are. Number two, we're going the complete opposite direction. Most valuable, Josh Allen, 8,300.
Okay.
I don't think that Kansas City defense has been playing how they were the past probably 6 weeks. Past 2 weeks, they've looked pretty rough.
Yeah, they look normal.
Um, and especially against Green Bay, they did not look good.
They had about 3 or 4 guys go down,
Yeah, I know, but
like guarding
yeah,
players.
yeah,
So that definitely is going to take its toll.
yep, for sure. Number three, good value here. Justin Fields at 6,800.
Mm. He's 68.
68.
Who do they have?
It wasn't the Lions. It was.
I can't find him. You may have had a guy in a primetime game. No, you're right. Sorry, I apologize. They are playing the Lions.
E.
Yeah.
Steel trap. Um, number four. I'm actually pretty big on this guy. This guy had the chance at one point to throw for 400 yards this game. Just couldn't get him down the field on the last drive. Jake Browning going for 5,200.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great stack.
Threw the ball a million times. Joe Mixon's run the ball well. Like they're moving the ball.
Yeah, they did. They looked. I mean, the Jaguars defense like isn't bad by any
No,
means.
no,
So
they were 8-3 whenever they played.
yeah, so they're playing the Colts, which is we've talked about before, the worst passing defense.
Yeah, I think if you don't go Purdy, I think a great stack would be Browning with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I agree.
You get a great value from Browning. Jamar Chase, what did you say, 7,900?
78. That is my number one player
Yeah.
at wide
So
receiver.
I think a Browning and Jamar Chase would be a phenomenal stack. And honestly, even at tight end, go Hudson. Hudson's one of his favorite guys, and he's not even a punt, but he's at that punt value.
Yeah, I
So
I don't know how much he's
I
going
don't either.
for off the
He
top.
actually isn't in my list. So if you could find that, that'd
I
be
will
amazing.
get that right now for you.
Number five, similar value, Gardner Minshew. Had over 20 points. I think he had 25 last week. Super hot and cold guy, but with the value, I think it's there. Got him ahead of CJ Stroud at number six for 7,600. Going up against the tough Jets defense, I believe,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, very tough.
Yeah. So that's a tough one. Number seven, bit controversial here. I think he has a big bounce back game. He had easily the worst game of his season, worst game of his career last week. Josh Dobbs,
Yeah, it was tough.
absolutely horrible game. Um, as you know, sometimes it happens,
It does.
and sometimes the next game it happens the other way.
And you know what? Sometimes the next game you happen to get the best receiver in football coming back on your team.
You do sometimes, yeah, and then you can get that quarterback for 5,900.
That's pretty good.
All right.
You definitely would you pay up for Jefferson at that point?
Yeah, I would given his extra rest. If it was his first week back,
'Cause
potentially back off the IR, then no.
yeah,
But because like we've talked about, soft tissue injuries are very scary when it comes to workload management and uh re-pulling it, re-injuring.
yeah,
Sorry.
like Watson did.
Um. So yeah, I think Jetta would be a good play. His value did his value go down while he was gone?
A little bit, yeah,
Yep.
but he's just so good,
Yeah.
and I'll touch on it in the wide receiver cast. Let me tell you, Tanner Hudson, $2,800, so I can go back to the quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
2,800, super cheap, but he's splitting time with Irv Smith,
Yeah, but
so
he's getting the targets. And you can see Jake Browning is very comfortable throwing the ball to him.
yeah,
So I think a great stack would be Browning, Jamar, and Hudson,
there you go.
and it all value it out. Like it wouldn't, you could still be able to reach
No,
for other guys.
that's a cheap setup.
Um, and these last three, 8 through 10, not super huge on. I'd like the 1 through 7 guys a little better, but number 8, Patrick Mahomes
Yeah,
going up against a pretty bad Buffalo Bills
they're not
defense.
good.
But he just fantasy wise, if you want football wise, has looked unbelievable this year. Has had 2 bad games where he couldn't really,
Pat.
yeah. But aside from that, just quarterbacking great.
Yeah, I mean, it has not shown in the offense, but again, like, he doesn't have a receiver, like, he doesn't
Mhm.
have a 1 right now, and it's showing. So, he's
Yeah.
under $8,000, which for Patrick Mahomes could blow up and break the slate under $8,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
For him,
Yeah. Um,
hasn't shown this year, but he's the guy that could do it,
yeah. It's just because they don't really sling it because they're more of like working down the field now instead of when they had Tyreek and a healthy Travis Kelce. They
right?
could really stretch the field.
I wonder if they do it without Pacheco, like, they put it in his hands more, which could
Maybe.
provide more value at that price.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Number 9, he's questionable right now, but Lamar Jackson at 7,700.
He's gonna play. It's illness,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
he
He's
should
he's
play,
gonna be fine.
right? Yeah.
But yeah, don't love it. He hasn't had the production that we've seen, but 7,700, it's still in that upper quartile, but not the typical Lamar that you have to pay top
Right.
dollar for.
I
Don't love
really
it.
like that, actually. I mean, we'll
And
have to
against the
see how
Rams,
the
as well.
now you got it.
Field travel. I don't have the matchups on here, by the way, people. I'm just
Straight off the
straight off
dome.
the dome. Um,
Kent State.
sir, can't read, can't write,
He couldn't write.
but I can remember
See, that's the thing. You had to remember him because he couldn't read them off his chart.
or write them. Can play baseball.
Yep, yep.
Number 10, guy's been spinning it. Matthew Stafford,
Uh,
6,000, going up against a very stout
yeah, it's a
defense.
good defense, actually.
So, like I said, 8 through 10, don't love it, but you can't knock how well he's been playing. Kyron Williams has completely changed that offense.
Yeah, I absolutely love Matthew Stafford. He's one of my waiver wire pickups.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's great the rest of the way. Good call. 6,000 there. You want to go running backs next?
Go wide receivers so
So,
it kind of lines up with the quarterback a little bit better.
gotcha, gotcha. All right.
For the first time ever,
I got you guys.
Josh Shapiro gonna lose you guys some money in the wide receiver DraftKings
There's
section.
definitely a possibility, but that is not the goal. All right, number one, I told you guys already. I piggybacked it off of Joey's Jake Browning pick, and at the value of Jamar Chase at $7,600, and that is definitely lost value. Like he's an over an 8,000 guy, typically always, especially if you have Joe Burrow there. But the value at that point is too good. They clearly wanted to get the ball in his hands last week, and they wanted to get it in his hands a lot, especially with a quarterback like Jake Browning. I think that continues against, like we stated, the worst passing defense in all of the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts. Give me Jamar Chase at number one at $7,600. Number two, I really just like this guy as a play. He's $100 cheaper than Devon or than Jamar Chase. I just gave it away. Give me Devonte Adams. I think that is going to be a high scoring matchup between the Raiders and the Vikings. The Vikings are going to put up points at least, and I think that puts the Raiders in a situation to run the football or to pass the football a lot. Aiden O'Connell is not the answer at quarterback over there, but they do a good job at getting targets to Devontae, and I think it finally shows this week. Number three, with Christian Kirk out, a guy who got it in the end zone last week for Jacksonville against the Bengals, give me Parker Washington. This is solely a huge, huge value play for the amount of snaps and amount of routes that he is going to run. Give me Parker Washington against the Browns, although it is a good defense. They are a little bit beat up, but give me Parker Washington at $3,000, pure value at the number three spot. And number four, leading into this guy, we touched on him a little bit. You got to stack him with Josh Dobbs. Justin Jefferson is the guy here. Let me see. I do not have it here. Here it is. He is actually still pretty expensive, but at the same time, I think he's $8,500. I still think he's a walking 20 bomb. Uh, I think he could have played. This is why I have him so high. He could have played 2 weeks ago, is what they said, but he wouldn't have felt 100%.
And
So
and they had a bye.
right, then they had the bye, right, so he's coming back off a bye on a week that he definitely would have played, it seemed like. So he's had, like, another week and a half of him being fully go and healthy, which is the only reason he's on the list. If that wasn't the case and he was playing 2 weeks ago when he's saying, like, "I can play, but I'm not there yet," he wouldn't be anywhere near this list at $8,500, let alone in the top 5, okay? But for that reason, he's had the time to get healthy. He has come out and said that he feels ready to go and 100%, and that is the only way he's gonna play, and I believe him. So they need to win football games if they're gonna keep up with the Packers, in the wild card race. So give me Justin Jefferson at 4. Number 5, Elijah Moore with the Browns. Jaguars just got torched through the air by Jake Browning. Why can't CJ Beathard do it? Wait, that is I lied.
Joe
I
Flacco.
lie. Why can't Joe Flacco do it? Right. You got it.
You've
Two
had a
Ohio.
lot of mess ups today, I've realized.
Why? What else did I mess up?
I don't remember. Oh, well,
Yeah, what a surprise.
I remember everything else.
Yeah,
If
there you
it's
go.
football, I remember.
All right.
If it's you, I don't
What
remember a
a
thing.
surprise. Okay, so give me Joe Flacco, sling it to Elijah Moore. Seemed to be his number one guy. I know Amari Cooper left early last game. But again, he's such a good value play because he is much cheaper than Amari and he's going to run the same amount of routes. And he led the team in targets last week. Elijah Moore, only $4,500. And I think he's an easy like 10 to 12, like floor 10 to 12. Number 6, with Zach Wilson back in New York. At this price point, I think Garrett Wilson's just too good of a value for how talented he is. He's $5,500. I know. And, so, like, some of that value is being acquainted of him playing with Tim Boyle, because even with Zach Wilson, like, Garrett Wilson was a top 15 wide receiver, if not a little bit better. So 5,500, I have him in the 6 spot. I arguably could move him up and maybe flip him with, like, Jay Jettas, like 4 and 6 flip, something like that. I actually really like Garrett Wilson at 5,500. They're playing Houston. Derek Stingley is coming into his own finally in that secondary. But again, give me Garrett Wilson. Give me the talent that he has. At the number 7 spot, uh, I mean, the guy is just a machine here. 1,000 yards every single season. Future Hall of Famer Mike Evans. He just does it week in and week out. It's actually unbelievable. And one of the only guys in that offense that is playable. Playing Atlanta, it's a decent secondary or just a decent defense in general. But he just doesn't stop scoring. Yeah, my light went out. Is what it is. Give me Mike Evans at 7. These next three are more value, and I'm just going to fly right through them. Give me Zay Flowers for Baltimore playing the Rams. Just a terrible defense there. And I like him. What is his price point here? Let me get that for you guys. Zay Flowers. That's not him. That's Zay Jones. Where'd he go? Here it is. $5,700. So mid range, mid tier there on the price, but a guy that's really talented. At number 9, this is if Josh Palmer doesn't play at $4,000. Give me Quentin Johnson. Pure volume point alone, not football talent wise. Let me just say that. He's gonna score 10 just because if it is what it is at 4,000 bucks. You're not gonna get that much like the amount of routes that he's gonna run with at that price point very often. And then this guy, I thought about going the other Baltimore receiver here. I thought about going Odell, but he's even more expensive, and this guy runs more routes. So I'm hoping for like a break it like on a big play here. He runs the deep routes a lot for Baltimore. Give me Rashad Bateman at $3,200. 3,200 bucks. This is value. You're gonna laugh at it.
Still gotta get the points.
I agree, but even if he gets me 10 points at $3,200, that's a win. He runs more routes than anybody on that offense. Him and Zay Flowers run the exact same. So it's a $2,000 price point difference between the two, and I like Zay Flowers. So give me the guy who also has a chance to just break the top off on one.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Is what it is.
I know it's your list. It's
Yeah.
just unfortunate, but I strongly disagree. If you trust me more than Josh, don't follow that pick.
$3,200. It's a good price. All right. That's it. That's my top 10.
All right. All right, we'll finish it off. Oh no, we got running backs and tight ends.
Yeah.
All right. Running backs number one for the second week in a row. Obviously, didn't have the most productive week last week, but Zach Moss, bell cow in Indianapolis, going 5,900 still. Just too good of a value for a guy that's going to receive 20, 25 carries.
Yeah.
Um, Number two, this guy has completely changed this entire team since he's been back from IR. Kyron Williams, 7,300, pricey, but
It's getting up
the
there.
dude is just unstoppable right now. He looks unbelievable. It's wild to see him come off a high ankle sprain. Austin Eckler come off a high ankle sprain. Kyron Williams hasn't lost a single step, and Eckler's lost all of his steps,
Every single one of them.
all of them. Um, Number 3, good value here. This guy's coming into his own, starting to get the volume that we're hoping to see. Keaton Mitchell, Baltimore Ravens, 4,900. Just an absolutely electric runner.
Yep.
Don't think his point total is going to be anything spectacular, but for 4,900, running backs are one of those positions where you can get value with the volume. I think that's kind of the smart move there.
Hmm.
Number 4, one of the goats of PPR, DMC,
The GOAT.
the goat.
Put some respect.
I mean, 9,200,
And he seems worth every penny every week.
and it's just unbelievable how good he is. 9,200. So maybe if you do that Jake Browning, Hudson, Jamar stack, you might be able to sneak this one in. Uh,
This is funny, actually. At $9,200, he is the second highest projected ownership just because he's that good.
he is that good. Yeah, I mean, like everybody else on this list, like there's besides possibly Kamara, like there's nobody that's just a lock to get like those quality touches plus
Even
the catches.
Kamara is not.
No, I know. It's just like
He's in a class of his own.
he really is. Number 5, Bijan Robinson, 6,500, but
Great.
Arthur
Actually.
Smith's finally given him the ball, not making him turn punts anymore, which is great. Number 6, Joe Mixon looked phenomenal this past week, 6,100. Um, Gotta kind of keep riding the hot hand. He's going to get his touches. So yeah, they're moving the ball.
Yeah.
Get him in the end zone. Uh, Number 7, because of our talk earlier, I'm going to switch this. It was McKinnon at 4,800. But I'm going to switch to CEH. I'm sure he's probably
Mm,
4,400.
yeah. 42. So he's even cheaper
Yeah.
than McKinnon.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. That's a
Uh,
steal.
Number 8, Jameer Gibbs, 6,600. Price tag's just getting a little high there for me with
Hmm.
splitting carries in the backfield.
Yeah.
Obviously, the production is still there for sure, but for that price, you'd like to get a guy that can kind of carry that backfield on his own.
Right. Monty, $200 cheaper. You'd still rather have Gibbs?
Yeah, I just like his dynamic ability.
Yeah.
Um,
Just want to see for the people.
More versatile.
Yeah.
Number 9, never been big on this guy, but Javonte Williams, 5,800. Huge volume, great matchup. The team's looking actually pretty good. Unfortunately, I think we all love to hate on Russell Wilson just
How
because
could you not?
he's just so uncomfortable and so unhuman like acting. It's
Dude, I have heard that he literally thinks like he's like the next coming of Jesus. That's like the rumors I
well,
hear.
like it's just like it just seems like he's has no feel at all. Like you hear about the stories of when they were going across seas to play and he was doing high knees in a dynamic warm up in the plane. Like, dude, if we were on that plane, like, imagine being team like all of your teammates watching that. Just be like, dude,
Sit down, bruh.
like, bro, like you don't have like there's no cameras here.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Well, the other thing too, there's two other moments that I'm like, this guy's just not a real human.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's just like it
L-
just sorry, go.
Let me tell the moments. It's actually crazy because so first training camp that he comes out with the Denver Broncos, there are no fans. There's no fans there. It's like a restricted practice. And he opens up the doors from the locker room to jog out there. and he's like puts his arm out. It's like he's pretending that there's fans to like. Have you not seen this? Feel like pretending like he's high fiving people. That's number one. Yes, guy's not a real human. I swear. That's
And it's
number
not
one.
even like he doesn't do it as a joke
No,
either.
it's
It's
dead
all
serious.
practice. He's practicing.
That's dead serious. Like yeah. Number two, he gets so again with Broncos, his first game back in Seattle. He stands there on the Seahawk at the 50-yard line with his arms out like this and spinning in a circle, like walking, like circling around, like pretending like he is like back. Yeah, you haven't seen either of these.
No, I always listen to the Broncos Country Let's Ride at the most inopportune times.
Yeah, I mean it's
So one of their games, I think it was last year, they got their doors blown off.
yeah,
And he was just like, Broncos Country Let's Ride.
yep.
'Cause he
I think he stopped saying it, right?
hope
Had to have.
so.
Stop
Uh,
kissing babies. All right, let's keep moving.
all right.
Let's roll through here.
And then number 10, Alvin Kamara at 8,200.
Yeah,
Um,
this has to be on the list.
he's a CMC, but on the lesser level.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I
Right.
value him. Moving on to tight ends. Number one, this guy's got to be your number one. TJ Hawkinson, 6,000. Third most expensive. Number two, Sam Laporta, 6,100. And then
More
this.
expensive.
hmm So that's kind of why I had like whoever was going to be the least
Yeah.
expensive option out of the two. That's who I was going to pick. Number three, this one was tough, but I put Kelsey here at 7,800. But he's just so consistent. But it's just
Yeah.
I'd rather
I
I'd
mean, he's gonna
still
drop you 15 at least.
yeah, it's an expensive 15 for 7,800. So, but
Yeah.
he always has that chance of going up against that Bills defense of getting us 3
Yeah,
touchdowns.
he's got the slate breaking.
Um, all right, number 4, Likely 3,500. Talked
Yeah, I
about him
really
for a
like
couple
him.
weeks. Number 5, Cole Kmet 4,300. Been solid all year. Number 6, Njoku, Joe Flacco slinging it to him at
Yeah, he's been
4,100.
good.
And for the first time, this guy has not been in my top 2 the past couple weeks. Dalton Kincaid
Never
at
was.
5,500.
Yeah.
Just hasn't had the touchdown production, that we were kinda hoping to see. Um, Number 8, if he plays, Taysom Hill, 5,400.
Hmm.
And number 9, uh, Everett, 3,400. Had a really, really good first half last week, and I think he only had 1 catch after halftime.
Yeah. That
Just
whole
the
offense
whole offense
struggled.
is banged up.
Yeah.
And number 10, with Zach Wilson starting, might be going back to one of his favorite targets, Tyler Conklin
There you
at
go.
3,000. Bit of a punt, but if you can get 10 points out of him, that's a very solid game for him.
Yeah.
And it seemed to be like his safety valve
Right.
because Garrett Wilson's running a little bit further downfield, and he hasn't really shown the ability to kind of put it in that window. But Tyler Conklin, 8-yard little out routes.
Yeah. All day. I want to touch on one point. This guy is back off the IR. I'm not sure how it's going to affect Dalton Kincaid. Dawson Knox is back.
I don't think it affects him too. I think
I,
I mean I think they're going to get Knox involved, but
yes.
I don't necessarily think it's gonna like, he hasn't had that insane volume.
Right.
Like
I still think it's Kincaid. I agree, but
yeah.
I think it takes like if he's been averaging like 13 to 15, really like 13 to
Mhm.
14, probably more in the 10 to 12 range now. Probably a few
I
points.
think 11, 13.
There you go. Somewhere
I
in
think
there.
Knox gets, like, a catch or 2, but
Yeah.
Kincaid is and it seems
He's
like
just better
Josh Allen trusts him.
for sure.
Like, in those 3rd and 8, like, moments, Kincaid's his guy.
They throw a lot of seam routes to him
Mhm.
right there. Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
and, like, out routes along the sideline, like, they trust him along the boundaries
Yeah.
too, keeping his feet in.
She's a good receiver. I mean, that's what he's known for. Like he's not known for a block tight end.
Yeah.
So
So, great fantasy player.
that's all we look
We
for.
don't want a tight end that blocks.
Absolutely not. Don't give me those
We
guys.
need George Kittle to stop blocking so well.
He has a good blocker.
I
That's the
know, it's
problem.
unfortunate.
Yeah, like he's actually
Like,
just a
that's why
great,
Travis Kelce is just the
just a,
best.
right. Just runs routes. Maybe a chip block.
Yeah, chip block with a little
Toss a little shoulder in his chest. That's about it. Get me out of there. All right. Well, hey guys, that is going to do it for the DFS segment, as well as the entire Saturday podcast. Again, we are your hosts, co-hosts, Joshua Shapiro and Joey Murray from Crossover Athlete Insights with an S at the end. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the alerts, get it all every Tuesday and Saturday. Crossover Athlete Insights with an S. Find us on TikTok, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify Podcasts. We have it all. Find us everywhere. We appreciate you guys tuning in and week out, all 7 of you guys. But we are hoping to grow here as it goes. And don't forget to follow that TikTok for additional news that you couldn't find on the podcast here. Until Tuesday, we'll see you then.